Why do I not find it hard to drape?
Draping. It can be done.
Because I'm not draping them at all.
The other thing is like transitional time, like how long it takes them to get on their side and all of that stuff.
When I walked in and said, hey, take off your shoes, lay it on the table just like you are. You having problems with your upper back and neck? Is it always right up here? Cool, just lay down on your side. Do they get more time or less? Does it stress me out more or less? It just changes the parameters a little bit. They go, wow, I actually get a little bit more time because I don't take my clothes off. Or whatever it is, right? So that's how I quickly go into this. They're completely clothed. And the problem you always have is right up here. Okay, cool. So I'm going to come in and we're going to change this for a second. So when I like traction and pull down, is that starting to pull into the area you have issues with? A little bit? Okay. How's your arm right here? Oh, geez. I get an oh, geez. Right there. Too much? Forearm flexors, extensors, fun stuff like that. Right there. Okay. Now what happens when I bring you more back and open? More in the arm. Okay. And I'm completely changing this just based on proximity. Okay. But for you, if I hook here, it's always right up in there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you like the pressure more? Instead of like just the traction? Okay. So what if I go from there? Takes more of the arm out. Is it pulling? No? Okay. I'm going to go into a deeper version of it, and this is what I would typically do, but you'll see why I start with the other. How does the client feel when I come and sit right next to them?
A little invaded.
A little invaded. Wow. Oof.
Everything we were taught.
Wow.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
So how do they feel when I go into a local massage school and teach what I do? They're like, we don't like this guy. And I go, just do ineffective work. It doesn't matter to me. It's okay. They're like, you're a jerk. And I'm like, I know, I'm an asshole. I have an ex-wife, you can ask her. She'll agree with you. It doesn't mean the work isn't effective. Now, I'm doing this because as I pull her back, she's not gonna fall off the table. I'm also gonna slide off a shoe. I always use shoes that I can slide off. So I'm gonna come in and do this. How's this right here?
Oh, that's
Cool. How's that right there? Is that too sharp? How's that right there? Now, I am using my fingers there to just apply like a little bit of pressure, but the other one wasn't quite getting exactly what she wanted. Does it make sense? Like it wasn't quite in the spot that she wanted, and I didn't want to be in a position where I couldn't help her with what we were trying to access. Does it make sense? Does it make sense why I changed it? Like the first tool wasn't quite where she wanted to be. So I wanted to change it so I could get something that I thought was more effective for her. Let me see if that captures a little better. How do you feel when the therapist isn't confident? Have you ever had that massage?
Yeah. I don't have a full massage. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna reschedule this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna come back down, slide that one shoe off. I'm making sure she doesn't fall off the table. And the rest of my contact also, I think, reassures the client that, you know, I know what's going on. Because as soon as I get my fingers right here, she's like, oh, good God. Oh. Now, you remember we talked about this posterior chain, and then we were saying this wasn't the problem? Why am I still touching this? Because we talked about it, we were like, the problem's in the front. Why am I touching this? If I don't touch the spot that they're having a problem with, they can feel completely unheard. Now, when I work with the client and go, listen, it's always up here, a little lower, so like back here, there we go. Now, what I just established is that I'm a man and that I actually listen to women. You have no idea how pivotal that is and how many clients tell me this is my clients. They're like, dude, I get the massage and the therapist never says anything. And I'm like, they're trained to do massage as a service and they're trained to be quiet. Whereas like I'm a little more focused, not always, and I do shut up when I'm in session. There are times you'll see videos of me working, I don't say nothing for 45 minutes. This drone zones in. After we get past the pain part, but once I'm right here, I'm like, listen, when I grab right here, do you want to be a little lower? A little bit higher. Where, right there? Right there, cool. So when I'm there, do you mean to shear down or up?
Try down again. Yeah, down.
Cool. Now, do you want me to go lateral away from the spine or towards it?
Go toward. Yeah.
Now, some rocking back and forth or static?
Rocky.
I gave her 3 different options within like 5 seconds. It just means what she hears is, wow, he actually cares whether he helps me with the thing I'm dealing with. If I come in and she says, I have upper back and neck pain, and I go, great, and I start working on her pecs and working on her chest, which is totally fine, by the way. I know that's where she's having probably an issue for some of it. Does she feel heard? If I don't touch the spot, I'm like, and I'll do this even in the intake. I go, listen, you're having problems with your upper back. Like we haven't made any contact, she's standing up. I'm like, you're having problems with your upper back. Can you touch the spot? And and I'm like, okay, so right here, or is it just a little lower? Right there, cool. Now, just in the intake, she feels so much more like, wow, he's actually focused on the thing I came in for. Now, traditionally in Thai massage, guess what? How's your upper back and neck?
It hurts.
What's the problem with this?
Those are my feet.
But the energy lines in your feet like influence the rest of the structure that goes up the body.
But unless you're not educated, you don't know that, you know.
There's nothing wrong with like starting a session that way, but in a Western clinical setup, I had to very quickly address what the client came in for, and then, yeah, we'll get to the feet. But like, I can't, like, no, I only have 30 minutes sometimes. Like, I have to go in and address what this person's having a problem with. So in her case, we're gonna test this real quick. So if I come in and give you more traction, if I'm pulling like this, do you prefer this, or do you prefer to the back?
Back.
Okay. Now, how far back? Does this feel better than me delivering pressure here? Or is it just different?
Different.
Do you want a mix of both?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna soften this first. Now, when I pull her back and open, what is this doing?
Also
Now, I'm lengthening the pecs, right? I'm pulling her into thoracic extension. I'm pulling her out of thoracic flexion. I'm actually helping her do a one-sided back bend. Now, where does breast tissue fall?
that direction.
Forward, down, and away from me. So I'm lengthening the muscle first, not because there's anything wrong with going in and doing work on pec major, pec minor, but how is a woman gonna feel if a male, like, you see what I mean? Like you gotta be crafty in how we put this together for like Western clients. So I come in right there, further back. She's dead. She doesn't even answer questions anymore. So how's this down here? Not so tender. But as I move up, it's tender up here. Okay. And I'm just getting feedback because I don't know what she feels. The other thing is, a lot of therapists I find, they were getting a large degree of, I don't know, like they would pride themselves on being intuitive. And it was like, I just ask the client, is that the spot? And they're like, no, it's not quite it. I'm like, higher or lower? And then inevitably what happened was, I go, it's right here, isn't it? Right in there. So I don't have to be intuitive. She just told me. It turns out in America, Like if you communicate with people, it helps. Especially for pain. If she's just here to relax, that's a different thing. But I know she wants pressure right here. I'm still going to open this because where do I think this pain is coming from? The muscles in the front are pulling her damn spine forward. And we walk upright and everything in our life, driving pulls us forward, typing pulls us forward, everything pulls us forward. What pulls us regularly into a back bend?